Radio Voces Latinas, 1610 AM. A drink of water with Joyce, Aldrich. Refresh your mind.
Welcome to this evening's edition of A Drink of Water. And wow, well, the snow's finally hit. Isn't that wonderful? And it is 4 degrees at 9 o'clock here at CHHA 1610 AM. And in studio this evening, we have a Cuban-born director, writer, producer, Yannis. She's going to talk to us tonight about her short documentary called Where the Magic Happens Outside the Comfort Zone. A lot of people will be able to relate to this who are listeners. It's about emigrating to Canada, and there are 9 stories that were told, and we're going to listen to some beautiful music as well from that short film and talk about her journey here to Canada. And she's been here 2 short years, so she's done an awful lot of wonderful work. Anyway, before we do that, though, we're going to listen to Cuban composer and band leader and pianist Hilario Duran, virtuoso. But we're going to do something a little bit fun. This is Winter Wonderland, and this is Hilario Duran's trio. Enjoy. Welcome, bienvenido, everybody, to A Drink of Water, and especially to our special guest this evening, Cuban-born director, writer, producer, Yannis. Do you feel welcome walking in a winter wonderland?
Thank you for that. It's so warm and welcoming.
Well, it's the least I could do because you came out in this winter wonderland weather driving, so you got here safely. Thank God.
Yes,
that's a good thing.
Yes.
So I thank you for coming in. And gee, I met you. I love cafes. Don't you?
Me too.
I love sitting in cafes, and when you're in a cafe, it's good to talk with people. And I heard you say something about Spanish or something, and I turned around. Oh, do you speak Spanish? So we were sitting in this cafe.
It was a magical.
It was It was a magical moment, which is interesting because that's your, where the magic happens, and your film. And there you were, and I asked you about yourself, and you told me you were a filmmaker, and I hadn't realized you'd already been on Radio Voces Latinas with Marta Pinzon and her program. She's a beautiful program in the morning.
It is.
And you were there before your film, where the magic happens outside the comfort zone actually premiered. And you came on to talk about that. So here you are back again. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Look at the cycle of life, and it's a small world.
Yes, exactly. I believe in the magic, and that's, I think, happening all the time.
Mm.
And first of all, I would like to say thank you
De
for
nada.
inviting me. Gracias. We can speak today both language, and it was so funny. And
Especially when I talk Spanish.
yeah, I mean, English terrible. I'm so sorry for your audience.
Don't worry. I don't feel sorry for our audience because majority of our audience are Hispanic, and a lot of people are afraid to speak English because they think they're going to make all kinds of mistakes when in reality that's how we learn. And you sound just great to me, so just continue.
Thank you, Joyce. For me, it's very challenging to do my first documentary here in this wonderland.
Winter wonderland. Did you come to Canada? Which time of year did you come to Canada?
I came to Canada in March. In the middle of the winter too.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Then there was no delusions about where you were coming.
No,
good.
It was. I went to 30 degree in Cuba. I went and 0 degree in Nova Scotia because we lived before in Nova Scotia. It was a very, very
Big shock.
Yes.
Which is what your film is really about, isn't it? Can you just let people know about why? What made you? First of all, you're a filmmaker from Cuba. We'll talk a little bit about that, where you started, but here you are, a filmmaker in Canada, so of course you're going to write about something you know, which is emigrating to Canada.
Exactly. Well, I have when I came to Canada, I tried to do the same life I have been in my country, of course, and I wish, this is my dream, to continue to writing and producer and film, and I went to improve my English in one school and learning Enrich Foundation when we moved to Toronto.
Right.
And in this place, I met a very multicultural people, and it was really, really inspiring with all the story there.
Yeah, I understand in Cuba, because I've never been to Cuba, but there are a lot of different cultures there, of course.
Yes.
And they seem to mix very well, I understand.
Yes.
But how is it different from Cuba to Toronto? Because Toronto does have a specifically distinctive multicultural culture, so to speak. Yeah. Mosaic, whatever.
Yeah. Well, in my root, I have... from my family is from Spain, China.
Wow.
So I know the mix, and I know the different culture. I came from that base. But here it was really, really amazing, and for me it was like magical because I love the word magic, as you know.
Magic is
Because
beautiful.
I believe in that. I believe. And so there I was really inspired with female immigrants. And I get involved in volunteer work in Learning Rich Foundation.
Sure.
And in this place, I know some person.
Yes.
The name is Jean, and she told me about the microgrant platform. So for newcomers, artists, I say, why now? I would like to try. And
amazing opportunities for
Yes,
people who are
exactly.
newcomers to Canada to explore who they
Exactly.
are,
and
to benefit by that.
That's a beautiful things have Toronto because have support, a lot of support from newcomers, artists,
Absolutely.
and the people who want to be get involved in the culture here. And for me, it was like a tiny window to show to send my documentary, my idea, because it was the idea.
Yes.
And I won that platform, and with that money, I developed my first short documentary where the magic happened.
And it's beautiful because there's 9 different countries, 9 different, cultures, and their stories are, they're actually, there's so many similarities and some differences as well, but there are a lot of how they adapted to coming to Canada.
Yes, well, one my idea, it was the main idea. It was demonstrate how the challenges is immigrate and settling in the new country
Yes.
with the new expectative we have as immigrants, as an artist. So I investigate a lot about that subject.
Right.
And I try to do put together so many different
Different cultures.
vision and point of view. And one is Colombian, another my interviewer is from Japan.
And Iran and Ireland.
Yes.
Amazing,
And another is Cuba, Brazil. So I try to build a map because I love map.
Yes.
And that's my...
Well, you were showing me something really brilliant that you did with your postcards. And you have 9 different postcards and these are the maps of the cities that people came from, maps of the places, and they're done artistically. You can't see them on radio, but I'll tell you how beautiful they are. That it shows where they come from, and it's absolutely an amazing idea. And you said you had a poster that you'd made of it as well.
Yes, that's a map. It was one artist from Toronto, Gillian Buttin. She's another person who loves map, and we met. Is a friend of mine.
Beautiful.
We met, and I explained my idea, the documentary, the building a map about immigration, and she said, "I can do it," and we do it together, and it was really. It looked beautiful because
they're pieces of artwork because there are no street names on them, just the street, just the map of the place. We're going to have to go to. Well, don't have to go, but we're going to. It would be a good idea to go to break right now.
Yes.
So we're going to see. It goes very quickly here. So we're going to talk a lot about different things. Here's some music. When we come back, actually, I'm going to play something from the film. I'd like to play natural jazz, and that's Arema Arega's composition.
Exactly.
And that's from the documentary. So we're going to play that when we come back after break here on CHHA 1610 AM. And we're in here with Yannis, and I'm Joyce Aldrich, and we'll be back right after this.
CHHA 1610 AM.
You are listening to Radio Voces Latinas, 1610 AM. A drink of water.
friend in the city of New York. She's tired again, but she goes to work. Anything could happen when you are alone. Love me, she said. Love me tonight. Is that last night? Love me once I don't help me. Knows that they is that only one in the eye. Love me.
And that's Natural Jazz by Arema Arega, and that is one of the songs from, it's one of some of the music from Yannis' documentary. It's called Where the Magic Happens Outside the Comfort Zone. And Yannis is in studio with me tonight here on A Drink of Water at CHHA 1610 AM. And what a beautiful, beautiful theme. And it really shows the sophisticated nature of your short as well. It has that feeling. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece that you put together.
Arema Arega is my friend from Cuba long time ago.
She's Cuban.
Yes, she's Cuban and with a very interesting root from Ethiopia, her parents. And
She's got a beautiful voice.
yes,
Oh my gosh,
she's
that's her.
amazing. She's really, really a beautiful artist.
Oh.
And also, she helped a lot to do the edition in the documentary, in my documentary.
I saw, yeah.
We worked together very hard for night, complete night, and it was really beautiful. And she gave me to use her music as a soundtrack and her sound. And we use in 60 minutes her sound, a beautiful song.
Yes.
And because I always had been work with Arema in Cuba.
Oh,
but
yeah.
she moved to Barcelona. She lives in Barcelona now. And we never have been the opportunity to
In the
get-
same city
yes.
to work, yes.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, we can do now. And it was really, really beautiful. She said yes, and we work. And I use all the music. I love her music. And her song, Natural Jazz, this song we already
Yes.
listened to now, is very, very deeply and have the same feeling I would like to give involving the intro from my documentary.
Yeah.
Because when you move, emigrate, you move with hot
Expectations.
expectation.
Expectación. You can,
Expectación.
sí, la verdad.
Expectación es tan lindo en español.
Sí.
It's a beautiful word.
It is.
Thank you.
Oportunidad as well as opportunities.
Yes.
And I'll get it.
Yeah, always really challenging. And this natural jazz talk about that, the solitude, the sadness, and
Yeah.
and,
And it
that's
has that urban feel, which is beautiful when you hear that
Exactly.
music. It's got that empty,
exactly.
sad feeling, like that urban feel, like you're there, but there's a loneliness, there's a sadness, there's kind of like almost a negative connotation, like now what do I do? Being lost.
Yeah, and
You
you are
know?
in the big city, like Toronto or New York, because we talk about the New York in the sun, but in my case it was Toronto.
Yes.
And that's the feeling as a migrant, you feel like a loss in the big, big city with no friends, no family, and that's kind of feeling I transfer in positive stuff because my documentary is it starts something deeply, but in the same time happiness.
Transformative, like that you can come from that lonely place to a far more not necessarily a happy place, but a place where you can actually have opportunities and do things. I was very impressed by the artist from Colombia. What was his name?
Mao Correa.
Yeah, and how he talked about how his art had changed from that very colorful art that he was doing in Colombia, very folklorica, and then he's got these darker figures, almost brooding but not. Exactly. But they're beautiful. His art changed as he changed here. So the soul is we change our space. We change our soul space as well. How we react and respond to things.
I think that's a good thing. That's a thought because
it's growth. It's growth.
Exactly. When you move and change the country and change the, for me, it's really challenging and improve myself and do another like now with where the magic happened. It's my first documentary as a director and filmmaker and editor and do all the stuff as a writer too. And it was really it's a process now.
Well, you still want to do some edits on this. You said. Now, when did it first air? When did a preview?
Yeah, I would like to continue this idea and fix some detail. And now I prepare to do maybe February or March to get ready to send to festival and other windows to show.
I think it has international appeal for sure. I think I believe that this is a documentary that needs not just to be seen by people here in Toronto or in the cities here in North America where people are immigrating to. It's a good thing because it helps people get a perspective on the people who are coming here, but also for people who are considering emigrating and to hear what people are saying. They're saying, well, when you get here, it's not going to be what you think. You're not going to be able to bring your culture. You can bring your culture. It's not going to be the same. You're not in your culture. Like the one gal, I forget where she was from, but she said, "I miss my city. I miss my friends. I miss where they used to go for coffee or wherever." It's like you have to reinvent all of this, and it's going to be different. And it's going to, and people need to know when they come here, it's going to be different. It's not at all the same from where you came from. Where you came from is beautiful, but like the Cuban man said, I came here to make a better life for myself. Exactly. I was happy in my professional life there. Everything was going well, but you know what? I wanted a better life. Mm-hmm. And he had to make changes here. He wasn't doing the same thing. And it's very hard to grasp that.
Of course. That's my thank you so much. You're so very talk the points I would like to talk, because that's the also one of my main idea, and that's in this documentary is to from the Canadian or another culture to see how immigrating is taught and hard and very challenging, but in the same time how the people who want to do her own art can do, and it's only getting courage and be stronger, because here we need to
and finding that maybe where you were you could do your art, you could do things, but maybe here, because there are so many opportunities, especially for newcomers. There really are, we really do open the doors and say, welcome, bienvenido.
Bienvenido.
and come, and but the thing is, though, to show us what you have. Bring us your art, bring us your culture, bring us your food, bring us your dance, and and bring us everything that you have, and color our world with that. We want to see the different strokes that people paint in our city.
Yes.
But to also be Canadian.
Yeah, that's amazing. I am very proud to
know?
be here. And I'm very happy to
Mhm.
do my best to
Yeah.
get involved in the Canadian culture.
Yeah, we want you to
because-
be Canadian
Yes,
as
of
well. We
course.
say you bring all
Yes.
this, but be
Yeah, my child is
Canadian,
Canadian,
too. You're a
yes.
Canadian.
Yes.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Bienvenue.
Gracias.
Bienvenue. Bienvenue. We're going to go to break again. Oh my goodness, it comes around. But
Yes.
we'll be back again right after
Time
break.
fly.
It does. It really does. It's right up there with Love is Blind. Yannis Cuban-born, wonderful filmmaker, right after these messages here on CHHA.
You are listening to Radio Voces Latinas, 1610 AM. A drink of water.
Rico, esto es. And that was Pablo Terry and Sol de Cuba and that whole band. Those are all people who emigrated from Cuba to Canada, and they perform regularly here in Toronto and all around the place, and we're talking here tonight here on CHHA 1610 AM with Yannis, who is also from Cuba. Only 2 years ago, right? Did you came, or am I wrong?
Almost 3 years.
Three.
Three
Okay.
winter. So that's
Okay,
very
let's
important.
just count the winters. That's
Yeah,
much
please.
easier. Yeah, just let's
Three
all
winters.
3 long
is my
winters
3
here in
winters.
Canada.
Yes.
I miss my beaches.
I
But
think I deserve the Canadian.
I'm hoping the Cuban music I'm playing with you makes you a little warm.
Oh, I love it. I really, really enjoy to see how you dance, how you know all the song.
I hope
Because
I-
Joyce is a really beautiful music.
Oh, you're so sweet.
No, I heard your music and I love it.
Thank you. Well, you said you love to sing as well. You said you're a frustrated singer, but I have a feeling that you have a good singing voice. So I would say you said you like son, so that's why I played you some
When
son.
you remember when we met in the cafe
I
last week?
do.
We
Yes.
sang beautiful song,
Oh, lindo
Capullito
Capullito di Alali.
And oh my God, that's so,
That was so much fun.
yes,
Yeah.
so much fun.
And and that's the thing about here in Toronto. People, well, it happens more in Montreal than in Quebec, where people talk to each other on the streets, but people are getting a little bit better here in Toronto, talking to each other on the street. It has been known as a bit of a cold city at times, and people feel, oh my gosh, but I'm going to talk to our listeners for just a moment.
Okay.
If you see people on the street and they're interesting, talk to them, or you're in a cafe because, you overhear a conversation, don't feel like you're imposing, because sometimes you may end up with a fabulous guest for your radio program, and how everything lines up. You were here before, like I said, with Marta Pinzon. I would never known that if I hadn't have said, oh, where are you from? And you said, from Cuba. I said, Cuba? Oh, de Cuba. Oh, okay. lindo capullo de Arega. We had a fun time. And then, what do you do here? And then you talked about being a filmmaker. I thought, wow, would you like to come on my program? I thought, this is fantastic. And we're having a great time here. And if you don't talk to people, you don't know who they are.
Exactly.
So that's what you do as a filmmaker. You ended up talking to all these people,
Yes.
getting their
I-
stories and putting it on a beautiful documentary. Now it's not public yet.
Thank you. Yeah,
it
maybe
will be.
February. Yeah, should be.
That'd be
Like,
nice.
yes.
We'll have to know when it premieres so we can let everybody
of
know.
Course, I will like. I will like. I work very hard every day. For me, it's very challenging because so I didn't know so many people to work and do the teamwork, and also I opened my new company, Aroma Films.
Let's talk about Baromo Films.
Yes.
Look at that. You're 3 years here, 3 winters, pardon me.
The winter, please.
Let's not make
Please.
let's make a distinction
Yes.
here. But you have a film company.
So I try to do. I am very risk taker person. That's what I mean. Thanks.
What's the word in
Risk
this?
taker. I lost
Risk. You're a
risk.
risk taker. I got.
I don't
That's
know
what you said. Risk
Yes.
risk taker. Now I can't say it.
It's a
You
big
love to
word.
take risks.
Yes,
Yes,
I love.
good for
I am
you.
very encouraged by myself. I push myself
Yeah.
to do many stuff as a newcomer, as a
Well, that's
female
outside the
artist.
comfort zone, which is part
Exactly.
of the
That's this is the big subject for me, because when I wrote the idea to do something, I in the first moment I didn't know it should be transforming in documentary.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like a story, because I love write a story. So I start to some crazy stuff with that comfort zone, because for me it was, as a mother, it was very challenging in a new country to go out
Even
my
with a young
comfort zone.
child, with a baby,
Exactly.
sure.
And go to school and improve my English and met new people. It was really challenging, because really Canada is beautiful. I love it. I love to be here, but it's very hard to get involved when in the culture.
Well, where do you step? Where do you put your foot into? And it, you know, you got to try so many things.
And you don't know, and you need to learning, searching, and I am very good searching.
Obviously.
I spent many time. I took so many courses online and workshops on physical, and I learning how go and leave my comfort zone.
Well, this is very encouraging for people who are listening because, you know, even people who are born here sometimes are not encouraged to go out and be a risk taker, because this is a country where you can be, you know, it really is a small pond. We only have about 37.5 million people here in Canada, so you really can make a difference. You can be noticed, you can be seen, and I really recommend that people do what you're doing. You know, like try. Especially nowadays in today's climate with the job market the way it is, you gotta make something of what you have, you know, of your talents. And
I think the most important, Joyce, is do what do you love?
Yeah,
that's very important. Your
and
passion.
play.
Yes.
That's what Buffy St. Marie
Exactly.
says. She says, whatever you do, she's a great Canadian artist. She said, play, whatever it is, just play.
Exactly.
Play with it.
Exactly. And go out and improve yourself. And even it's very hard, but I always say stay away from the people who minimize your ambition. Stay away.
They call them the noisy negativists.
Exactly. I am away from. I saw some friends of mine, or no, away.
That's right.
Because you need to be focused when you, as an immigrant.
Yes.
You need to be focusing on your passion and put all your
strength. Yeah.
In that objective. For me, is that I put all my talent, all my knowledge.
Yeah,
in my documentary. I say this is my first. I would like to do something personal and something who identify me as an immigrant, as
an artist.
Yeah.
Well, I want to play the other song by Arema, Arega.
Ese tema me encanta.
Ay. A great Cuban word. Ay. So let's play this, and then we'll just then we'll be going out to break shortly after that.
Thank you.
So yeah, this is Arema, Arega, and this is another song from your documentary. A very classy documentary. Let me tell you, it's got a beautiful feel to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. So I hope people can see this in February. Okay, this is Arema, Arega.
No hay por qué mentir ni por qué callar, no hay por qué reír si quieres llorar, no hay por qué pensar que todo irá mal, no hay por qué ocultar que no puedes más. Ay, 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 ay. La vida tiene cosas, ¿qué será? ¿Qué cosas trae ella? ¿Qué será? A veces noche oscura, a veces las estrellas. Cantar me trae el alma, con pétalos de flores y olores, flotando entre canciones que ya no volverán. Me nacen las ideas y luego se me esconden, como si fuera poco. Vivir así nomás como yo vivo, no, 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 no. Esto no es vida, no, como yo vivo, no, 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 no. Esto no es vida, no. Lo que quieras siempre lo podrás lograr, pues los sueños son quien te hará llegar. No hay por qué mentir, no hay por qué callar, no hay por qué reír si quieres llorar. vida tiene cosas maravillosas. A veces te desnuda y a veces te desborda. Ay, ay, ¿qué cosa es esto, mamá?
The beautiful composition and voice of Arema Arega, and that is one of the songs from the soundtrack of Where the Magic Happens, Outside the Comfort Zone, by director, writer, producer Yannis, who is in studio with me tonight. And Yannis, we're going to be going to break. We'll come back. I know we're coming up to the last segment of the program. So zoom, boom, done. I need 3 hours.
I have
really.
Fun.
We're having fun.
That's beautiful.
It ain't over yet. That's not good English, but it ain't over yet. So we're going to go to break here at CHHA 1610 a.m. It's 9:45, and it's now -3 degrees out there, and the snow is still coming down. So enjoy. We'll be back right after this.
You are listening to Radio Voces Latinas, 1610 AM. A drink of water.
¿Qué te importa que te ame si tú no me quieres ya? El amor que ha pasado no se debe recordar. Fue la ilusión de tu vida, un día lejano ya. Hoy represento al pasado, no me puedo conformar. Hoy represento al pasado, no me puedo conformar. Si las cosas que uno quiere se pudieran alcanzar, tú me quisieras lo mismo a 20 años atrás. Con qué tristeza miramos un amor que se nos va. Es un pedazo del alma que se arranca sin piedad. Es un pedazo del alma que se arranca sin piedad. te importa que te ame si tú no me quieres ya? El amor que ha pasado no se debe recordar. Fue la ilusión de tu vida, un día lejano ya. Hoy represento al pasado, no me puedo conformar. Hoy represento al pasado, no me puedo conformar. Si las cosas que uno quiere se pudieran alcanzar, tú me quisieras lo mismo a 20 años atrás. Con qué tristeza miramos un amor que se nos va. Es un pedazo del alma que se arranca sin piedad. Es un pedazo del alma que se arranca sin piedad.
That was 20 años. And actually, Yannis, please, the reason I played that, I am singing this song with Ruben Vasquez de Habana and piano. And the idea is that I've never been to Cuba. But the thing that I was going to make the point of is that because people have come from all these countries, Canadians are enriched. We would never have the opportunity to play with such wonderful musicians and to learn about the cultures and to make that beautiful mix. It's so gorgeous. I want to talk about your website here. En la Red del Tiempo. So that's ENLAREDDELTIEMPO.com and lareddeltiempo.com. And there you have story time in Spanish with Yannis. You're a beautiful storyteller. I read some of them in Espanol. And also there's information about where the magic happens outside your comfort zone. Please go there. That's enlareddeltiempo.com. And
thank you, Joyce. That's my space to talk about that beautiful city, Toronto.
Exactly.
And this is my tiny space to talk about all inspire me in
stories and photographs and
yes, I fell in love with this city. I am very grateful with the people and the city itself, because every day I saw something new. I saw something inspiring and so magical, and I wrote about that every time in my.
Well, many people who come to our country see it with such hopeful and beautiful eyes as yours, Yannis. And through your lens, I'm looking forward to so many more films from you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Full length docs, films. I don't know what you've got in there, but what I saw from the 15 minutes. It's absolutely inspirational, and you have such a gift.
Thank
for
you.
telling a story.
Thank you. I can stop now.
No.
I have almost more than 5 ideas, more development ideas.
Wow.
And now I apply for more grant and
once you've got one great film under your belt, it's going to be easier and easier for you to get grants. And I'm praying that more people take on the kind of challenges you've taken on, and inspiring play that you've done.
I cross my fingers and cross my fingers. Yes.
Fingers and toes.
Yes, please.
No, you don't have to do that, because, to be honest, when you have the talent you have, it's going to come. And when you have the drive and the ambition, and it's not a bad thing. It's good to have that. It's good to want to do something wonderful. And I thank you so much for doing that. We're coming up to Hanukkah tomorrow, because it's for the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah. And I have to leave with a song called Hanukkah in Santa Monica.
I love this song.
Well, let me tell you, thank you for coming in, Yannis.
Thank you for inviting me.
We're going to go out with Ilana Waldston singing Hanukkah in Santa Monica, great Toronto jazz artist. She's a funny gal. And to all our Jewish listeners, Chag Sameach, Happy Hanukkah, and let your light shine in the world. And here it is, Hanukkah in Santa Monica. Enjoy.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm spending Hanukkah in Santa Monica, wearing sandals, lighting candles by the sea. I spent Shavuos in East St. Louis, a charming spot, but clearly not the spot for me. Those eastern winters, I can't endure 'em, so every year I pack my gear and come out here till Purim. Rosh Hashanah I spend in Arizona, and Yom Kippur way down in Mississippi. But each December there's just one spot for me. I'll be lighting my menorah on the California shore, like a baby in his cradle. I'll be playing with my dreidel, lighting candles in my sandals by the sea. Just one place for me. Mid the California flora, I'll be lighting my menorah. Every California maid'll see me playing with my dreidel. Here's to Judas Maccabeus, oh, if he could only see us doing Hanukkah in Santa Monica by the sea.
And you thought we were going to leave the Cuban theme. I forgot to mention to my listeners here on A Drink of Water that A Drink of Water will be changing its time slot as of next Tuesday, December 19th. We will now be at 8 o'clock. So you'll be able to tune in and listen to more of A Drink of Water with me, Joyce Aldrich, and wonderful guests like Yannis and all the great people we have on here. Next Tuesday, this is December 19th, we're going to be starting at the 8 o'clock time slot. So remember that. Listen to A Drink of Water every Tuesday at 8 p.m. And I'm looking forward to having you join me then. So happy Hanukkah, and have a wonderful week ahead.
CHHA